Today we're going to be making this very simple chevron brim or band depending on how you want to work with it. And for the chevron brim, I am going to be working with the Patons worsted wool yarn, and this is a size 4 medium weight yarn. I'm also going to be using a size G or 6 or 4 1/4 of a millimeter crochet hook. And we're going to begin by attaching the yarn to our crochet hook using a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 7. And once you have your 7 chains in place, go ahead and turn them over so that you can access this 3rd loop in the back. And we're going to place 1 single crochet in each of these back bumps going down our row, starting with that first chain. So we should have a total of 7 single crochets when we get to the end of our row. And at the end of the row, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And we're going to skip our turning chain and place 1 single crochet in each stitch in our row for a total of 7 single crochets. And at the end of our row, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. So this is the first row of our chevron stitch. So we're going to begin that by skipping our turning chain and then placing 1 single crochet in our first stitch. So looking back down at your chain row, you can see that we have our traditional stitches. So I want you to count 4 chains over. And in this 4th chain, in the loop closest to your crochet hook, we're going to place a triple crochet. So we're going to do that by yarning over twice and then inserting our crochet hook in that back loop. Then we're going to yarn over and pull up through the loop, then yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until we complete the stitch like this. From here, working back up in our top row, we're going to skip our next stitch. Then we're going to place 1 single crochet under the full stitch of our following stitch, then 1 single crochet in the back loop only, and 1 single crochet in our next stitch. And we will be working in this front loop only from the stitch where we placed our single crochet in the back loop. So if you're new to crochet or you think it might be difficult for you to find that loop later, go ahead and mark it with a scrap piece of yarn or a stitch marker. From here, we're going to place another triple crochet back in that back loop. So again, we're just going to yarn over twice and insert our crochet hook in the loop, yarn over and pull up through the loop, and then yarn over and drop 2 loops at a time until we complete our stitch. From here, we're going to skip the next stitch that we haven't worked in and place 1 single crochet in the very last stitch of our row. And we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And for this next row, we're going to skip our turning chain and place 1 single crochet in each stitch in our row for a total of 7 single crochets. And at the end of your row, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. So for our next row, we're going to skip our turning chain and place 1 single crochet in our first stitch. And remember that front loop only I told you we would be working in? Well, we're going to place a triple crochet there. Then working along the top edge of our row, we're going to again skip the next stitch. Then we're going to place 1 single crochet under the full stitch of the following stitch, 1 in the back loop only, and then 1 in the full stitch again. And again, we will be working in this front loop only, so you might find it helpful to mark it. From here, we're going to place a triple crochet back in that front loop where we've already worked. And working in the top portion of our row, we're going to skip our next stitch and place one single crochet in the very last stitch of our row. And so we're just going to repeat those last 2 rows over and over to create our chevron brim. So I'm going to show you those 2 rows one more time. We're going to begin by chaining 1 and placing 1 single crochet in each stitch in our row, for a total of 7 single crochets. And at the end of the row, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to skip our turning chain and place 1 single crochet in our first stitch. Then we're going to place 1 triple crochet in that front loop only that we talked about when we created it. Then we're going to work back up in the top portion of our row, and we're going to skip our next stitch, and then in the next 3 stitches we're going to place 1 single crochet under the full stitch, 1 in the back loop only, and then 1 in the full stitch again. And again, that front loop is where we're going to work our next chevron stitch. From here, we're going to place 1 triple crochet back in that same front loop where we've already worked. And to finish this off, we're going to skip our next stitch and place 1 single crochet in the very last stitch of our row. So go ahead and repeat those 2 rows over and over to build the body of your brim. So I crocheted this brim until I had 38 of my chevron stitches. And so now if you want to create a circular pattern, then what we're going to do next is just fold our pretty sides facing in like this. And we're going to join these 2 edges using slip stitches. So make sure you've placed a chain stitch at the end of your last row. And then we're just going to slip stitch these corresponding stitches together by inserting our crochet hook in both stitches and then yarning over and dropping all the loops on our crochet hook for a slip stitch. And we're just going to repeat this in each stitch going down our brim. And once you're done joining your brim, then we're going to chain 1 and turn this right side out. From here, you can just cut and tie off your yarn, or if you would like, you can crochet the beanie that I am making with this brim, and I will link to that in the description. Please let me know in the comments below if you experienced any issues while you were making this, and I will do my best to help you out. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Crochet with Julie. Thank you so much for working with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.